I call myself the iconist, and I call myself that because I've decodified, demystified, deconstructed, or you could say codified, the unchanging primal laws of what cause anything in this world to stand out. Any product, service, message, idea, art stands out because of unchanging natural laws. This theory, I call it block theory, is coined from the term of what happens when you put a toy block in front of a baby. It's absolutely mesmerized by it. And there's something about the symmetrical shape of a block with an intricacy inside it. There's a binary relationship between the intricate and the monolithic. And we make something monolithic enough, it stands out. John Locke, he was the guy that said that we were all a tabula rasa, a blank slate, and that we were programmed from birth by all the things that we experienced in our environment. And he figured out that toy blocks were amazing in terms of the way that they would change the learning experience. The modern world is drowning you out. I call this phenomenon, we often think about, I call this phenomenon dilution. We often think about the digital overload that's distracting us as distraction, but it isn't really, it's dilution, because if everyone around you is distracted, you're getting smaller, okay? There's now 295 exabytes of data in the world. What that means is, if you were to stack a CD flat one on top of the other, you could stack that CD to the moon. That's how much data. There's more available data than there is available storage. And all of that, a lot of that is repurposed, and it's sent back at you, and we're all being overloaded with everything. So items in a supermarket, these are just examples of this, roughly 9,000 in 1975, 50,000 today. So if you were a box of cereal today, are you going to stand out less or more? So we're all being diluted by all this massive amount of content. And just people, it took us, 10,000 years to go from 1 million people in 10,000 BC to 1 billion people in 1804. And then 100 years, 1927 we were at 2 billion, and now, today, we're over 7 billion people. So we're not just competing with all this content that's around us, we're competing with each other. There's just so many people in the world, and we're all shrinking because of it. Text messages. 50 years ago is an ocean of history. 50 years is a drop of water in an ocean of history. There were 0 text messages sent back 50 years ago, 2 trillion today, 323 million cell phones today. We're all being distracted by all this content, which means your voices are being diluted. Block theory. Block theory says that the reason we pay attention to everything is based on large, monolithic, symmetrical shapes magnetize the human eye. And that applies to everything. It applies to an email. It applies across all 5 senses. If you were to look at the most famous artists in the world according to the average person on the street, you would have to probably say Andy Warhol and Vincent van Gogh. Kind of everyone knows them, even if they don't know anything about art. Every one of their pieces, a large, central, monolithic image inside a square or a rectangle. And that's why it captivates our attention. A pyramid. Say you're looking at a pyramid in a vast desert. And there's an intricacy inside it. It's bricks. It's got a mystery. Are you going to stare at the vast desert, or are you going to be magnetized to the pyramid? So we're magnetized to monolithic forms, yet many of us lead with the busy in everything that we do. Warning labels, road signs, flammable, danger, gas, they're all made monolithic, symmetrical shapes, huge, with some sort of intricacy. And there's a binary relationship between the intricate and a monolithic form. So what I do is I teach people how to break themselves, whatever they do, architecture, art, paintings, down to monolithic forms. 7 wonders of the world, these aren't the most wondrous things in the world, but they are what people think are. The Taj Mahal is a rectangle with a half arch on it. The pyramid is a triangle. The Stonehenge is a series of rectangles. You could say it's a circle for the aliens that built it from space. I'm a Garbage Truck is a series of videos that toddlers love to watch. There's ones called Diggers and Dumpers and Tractors, and toddlers will stare at these videos with just a large machine doing something they can't understand, and with no music, just the grating sound of the machine, and they're transfixed by this large monolithic form. Gauguin was Van Gogh's roommate, one of the greatest painters of the 19th century, yet he doesn't have that same he's not known in the common collective with the average person on the street the way that Van Gogh is, even though his work is stunningly beautiful. And part of that is because he didn't use monolithic central imagery. You don't have to, but it's why things stand out. Van Gogh, on the opposite, every single painting was a monolithic central image. So a bedroom, a cafe, a tree, a pair of boots, sunflowers, a man with a cob pipe. There's always a monolithic, huge central image. So this is a tool if you want to stand out. And it's an important tool because it affects us mentally. All right, Mozart and Michael Jackson. A block in music would be a nursery rhyme-esque central melody. Okay, so, okay, I'll do Beethoven, but like, da, 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 da. That repeated is a block in music. Or, mama say, mama sa, mama pusa, right? This is a block in music. And when we do that, we take notice to these things when they're repeated. When we repeat something over 5 minutes, whether it's in an email, a resume, anything we do, or we repeat it over 50 years throughout our career, if we break it down to a block, whether it's a piece of architecture, product design, everything can be made in blocks. Louis Kahn from earlier was the master at that. So a large central image repeated is why we notice things. I Have a Dream, probably considered the most famous speech of the 20th century around the world. People love this speech. He says, let freedom ring 7 to 10 times. He says, I have a dream 7 to 10 times in what is a very short speech. Okay, so the reason we're brought into the emotional content of the speech and we remember it is because of the block phrases that are repeated throughout the speech. Be heard. I want you all to be heard. It's my life's work. I've got a book coming out about it eventually. It's a work of social change in a lot of ways, as well as a professional manual, because when we feel like we can stand out, we change. We avoid an array of psychological effects. So thank you for listening. All right. Be heard.